Step into the spotlight.
Hey guys, Underground Geek here, or some people like to know me as Subterranean Comic Enthusiast. So, my friends, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, was hanging out with me today. We were eating some pepperoni pizza, and we were talking about Vault Comics. And I said, "What?" They said, "Vault Comics." And I said, "Are you trying to sneeze? What is that?" Vault Comics. And they said that they released a statement, and they wanted everybody to know where they stood on the whole harassing comic creators fiasco. And I said, "Oh, okay, yeah, this seems like a good laugh. Give me that. I'll go to the bathroom and I'll read it while I'm sitting on the toilet." And so I went and read this article, and it says, okay, and it's by, it's got Adrian Wassail, the CCO and editor-in-chief. It's got Damien Wassail, the CEO and publisher. And it's Vault Comics. I know that nobody knows who they are, but let's just pretend that we do. It says, okay, mistreatment of comic creators, both online and in other public forums, have reached a fever pitch. Okay, if you say so. Creators have been subject to relentless online harassment, doxing, phone calls to their homes, public ridicule, verbal assault, and even death threats. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. I wonder if I scroll down if they'll have any examples of this harassment, doxing, phone calls, public ridicule, verbal assault, and even death threats. Oh, no? Oh, so this is just conjecture? Okay, good. These behaviors frequently rise to the level of criminal misconduct. Then call the police. More often than not, the perpetrators target creators who identify with one or more minorities. How do you identify with a minority? You can only be a minority. Why aren't we adding words to things? Why is this making it more complicated? It's kind of like, hey, instead of the refrigerator, can you go to the ice maker refrigerator water producing machine? Oh, okay, yeah. It says this has to stop. Okay. We must do everything we can to stop it. You mean like give examples and let people know about who's doing this so that we can go after them? No? Oh, okay. Those of us in the industry who are less vulnerable to this mistreatment must stand up for those who are at risk. So, who is more at risk than other people? You mean companies that are relevant, unlike your company? And it says, in particular, publishers and their parent companies and other companies associated with the comic industry who make a public stand against the behavior. Okay. We call on other publishers, especially those with the loudest voices, to unequivocally condemn harassment of comics creators, to lend legal and other support to creators who are targeted, and to publicly disavow the individuals who engage in such behavior. Okay. So what I've done here is I read through this whole thing, and it's total conjecture. There's no proof. There's nothing, all this is, I'll tell you about what I think this is later. But basically I had this next photo here, and see, people like this like to use trigger words. And I'm not trying to be a SJW, but I'm trying to say they're trying to use trigger words, catchphrases to get people's attention and to make this seem like it's a bigger problem than it really is. They're going to use things like harassment, doxing, public ridicule, verbal assault, threats, target, risk, alienated, bullies, inclusive, safe, things like that to trigger these other people. And they always use these same words over and over and over. And they want to act like that they're different, but they all use the same words. And it goes to show you that what they're doing is they're reading something that somebody else in their little circle said. They're not really paying attention, and they're thinking this would be a great opportunity for us to virtue signal the heck out of this thing. And then they produce things like this, and it's public ridicule at this point. Like they're ridiculing themselves. That public ridicule that you're talking about, you're doing it. So I circled all the words here, and it quickly became a big hodgepodge because, I just had to stop circling because then you couldn't even read it anymore. But it's just, it's really insane. So what I did was, the first time I was thinking, who is Vault Comics? You know, what's going on here? So as I'm looking down through their Twitter feed, I start seeing all the usual suspects that are replying to this Twitter statement, and they're retweeting it and things like that. Now let's look at their Twitter here. They have 10,000 followers. Okay, you have 10,000 followers on your Twitter, a comic book company. So obviously they're not that big. And then when you go down here and look to see people who are retweeting it, there you go. There's Ron Mars. Well done. Now I retweeted him and said, "That'll do, pig. That'll do." And he never commented back because he's a coward. But anyway, so if you look through here at the people that are saying this, that are commenting back, it's all the usual people, nobody important. And they're quickly jumping to their aid, saying things like "Yas, yas," and "This is why I gladly give Vault Comics my money." Well, you're the only one. In addition to their stellar comics. So you give them money because you believe in their politics? That doesn't seem right. That seems hypocritical. Okay. So then I Googled them, and when I Googled them, it came up with Vault Comics, their website, the best science fiction and fantasy comics. Okay, that's opinionated. And then it came up with their Twitter, and it came up with the Vault Comics reveals 6 debut titles for 2017. So obviously they're very small because it's only 6 titles that they're debuting this year, as opposed to Marvel, which has got over 100 comics running right now. So anyway, let's look here at their list of comics. So they've got their titles here. They've got Zojekan, Alien Bounty Hunter, Spiritus, Heathen, Failsafe, and Colossi? Yeah. Okay, anyway. So I tried to find the sales numbers on this, and the only sales numbers I could find was Heathen. So I guess the other ones, maybe they haven't come out yet or something. I'm guessing that's what it is. But Heathen is the only one that's out right now. And so I went to the sales figures on Heathen. Okay. See if I can get this pulled up here. Heathen, in August of this year, they sold, where's it at here? Oh, here we go. They were 412th on the list. They're at issue 5. It's $3.99 for this comic. They sold 2,500 copies. Diamond's threshold is 5,000. They sold 2,500. They sold half the threshold. So obviously either they've got some kind of deal going with them, or they're about to get canceled, and they're only on issue 5. Yeah. Okay. So should you really be opening your mouth? You've got 10,000 followers on Twitter and 2,500 people buying your comic. You've got 1/4 of the people on Twitter actually buying your product. So that goes to tell me right there that your company's full of crap. What it is, you got all these little virtue signalers on here that follow you because it says comic book on your Twitter, and they don't actually do anything about it. But let's go to their about page here, okay, on their website, before I really dig into them. Vault Publishers' original creator owns science fiction and fantasy comics. Creating science fiction and fantasy is essential about imagining and experiencing the new, the bizarre, the unimagined. In the realm of science fiction and fantasy, creators can break the established order, dissolve conceptions of social identity, and give voices to the silenced. They can ask the hard questions, and they are brave, venture, bold to answer. Inside the vault, it is safe to be different. So, right off the bat, look at that cringe, Becky. Becky, look at that cringe. Oh my gosh. Right off the bat, they're saying things like, creators can break the established order, dissolve conceptions of social identity. They always have to put that social identity in there somewhere. And give voices to the silenced. Because everybody just goes around silencing everybody. Yeah. No, normal people don't do that. You know who does that? Who does that? Comic creators do that on Twitter all day long. They are the ones doing the silencing, not us, them. So maybe you're on the wrong side of it. You're over here lining people up in the firing line, shooting them, and then you're saying that they're silencing you. That's the opposite, son. But anyway, they can ask the hard questions, and if they are brave, venture bold answers. And then they have to embolden the words inside the vault, it is safe to be different. So you're putting yourself in a literal echo chamber on your website. You're saying, go to our echo chamber, it's safe. You're an idiot. But anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, Vault Comics was nowhere on my radar, but they are now. And so from now on, I am going to personally be finding the Vault Comics. I'm going to go, I'm going to order them, I'm going to find them. I'm going to review these things, and I'm going to roast the heck out of them. Because it was all fine and dandy when you were just off in your own little corner making your SJW comics and nobody cared. But when you start attacking the fans, trying to virtue signal for these other little idiots that, you know, were also going down the tube and haven't been in comics in a while, all you're doing is putting a target on your back for me to see your product. So now I'm going to look at your stuff. I'm going to check things out. And if it's not up to par, I'm going to roast the heck out of it. But here's a quick little tidbit here before I finish things up. This Alien Bounty Hunter comic, I looked it up. It was actually produced by Mark Wahlberg. You know, so that's kind of a big deal. So obviously there's some kind of deal involved there. Mark Wahlberg, he is not afraid to make some money. He and Dwayne Johnson are all about sponsoring things and making money, and they venture out to everywhere. Wahlburgers, they have the restaurant, they have a TV show, they have movies. So he's producing Alien Bounty Hunter, so you better believe I'm going to be getting that to check it out. But, you know, all in all, this just goes to show you that they don't care about the customer. It's all about getting attention, and it's for one thing and one thing only: publicity. Any publicity is good publicity. Bad publicity is good publicity, because now we're sitting here talking about them, and they have 10,000 followers on Twitter, and I guarantee you in 2 weeks they'll have at least 5,000 more. It'll be the same thing with Heather Anto. She had 10,000 by the time we got done. She had 20,000. So I'm going to be checking out Vault Comics. I'm going to be reading their stuff, and if it's not up to par, I'm going to roast the heck out of it. But that's pretty much all I got to say about Vault Comics. It's an echo chamber, literally, that says it on their website. They're just trying to get out there and get you virtue points. They're trying to get people's attention. You know, they're trying to get a good favor of these bigger comic companies so that people will talk about them. That's all there is to it. They don't care about anybody. But that's all I got to say. Hit the thumbs up. Hit the notifications button. Tell me what you think about this company. Tell me if you're already reading some of their comics, and I'll just go ahead and call you a liar. And all in all, have a great day, guys. I'm going to have a story later on coming out about Bleeding Cool's news article, but I'm going to have to get that together. So, all right, guys, have a great day. Bye.